Have you ever tried to recommend a restaurant or a city to a friend in English, but it just sounded a little weird, like you were giving a military order instead of a fun suggestion? You're not alone. Today, we're fixing that.
Oh, I have definitely been that person. I told my American friend I will go to Tokyo next month, and she looked at me like, okay, good for you. I realized I wasn't sharing excitement. I was just stating a fact.
Exactly, Leo. And that's what we're diving into today on Speak Like a Native. I'm Maya, and this is the episode that will completely change how you talk about your travels. We have three powerful phrases that make you sound less like a robot and more like a native speaker.
I'm Leo, and trust me, if you've ever felt stuck when talking about a trip, stick around. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to recommend a place and make it sound irresistible.
Let's start with the first one, and this is something I hear misused almost every single day. Imagine you had an amazing time in Kyoto. You want to tell your friend they must go there. A lot of learners will say something like, I will go to Kyoto.
Right, which is just information, not a recommendation.
Exactly. It sounds self centered. I will go. Okay, but what about your friend? A native speaker, when they're excited and want you to experience something, will say, you have to go to Kyoto.
Oh, you have to go to. So the focus shifts from you to the other person.
That's it. It immediately transforms the statement from a personal plan into a compelling piece of advice. It's like saying, this is not optional. You must experience this. Think of it as an enthusiastic command. While must can sound very formal, have to is what we use in everyday spoken English. Let's practice. Leo, tell me about an amazing cafe you found.
Okay, last weekend, I found this tiny Italian place downtown. You have to go to this Italian cafe. The pasta is incredible.
Perfect. And that's the key pattern. You have to go to plus the place. It's so simple, but it instantly makes you sound more natural and excited. For our Spanish speaking listeners, I know it's tempting to directly translate tienes que ir a, which is exactly this phrase, so that one's easy. But for speakers of languages that use a different structure, maybe using a simple future or a conditional, this might feel like a very strong statement. And it is. It's strong in a good, friendly way. So you have to go to the new museum. You have to go to this beach at sunset. The next time a friend is traveling, don't just tell them your plans, give them a mission.
Got it. So no more I will go as a recommendation. It's you have to go. Simple. But what do I say after they go? Like, what if I went somewhere expensive and I want to say it was completely worth the high price?
That brings us to our second phrase, and it's a gem. Now, this is interesting. Many learners, when trying to express that something expensive was worth it, will say, it was worth it. That's fine. It's correct. But English speakers love a little drama, a little emphasis. They want you to know that every single penny, cent, or coin contributed to the joy. So instead of just, it was worth it, we often say, it was worth every penny.
It was worth every penny. That has a nice ring to it. It's more vivid.
It creates a picture. You can almost see the stacks of coins, and you're saying, yes, all of them, I'd spend them all again. Now, a common mistake I hear, especially from Chinese speakers, is saying, it worth every penny. Remember, worth is an adjective in the sentence structure, not a verb. You don't say it worth, you always need the verb to be. It I is worth or it was worth every penny. So, Leo, tell me about that expensive sushi place you went to in Tokyo. Use the phrase,
Okay, dinner for two cost a lot. Like, I was a little shocked when I saw the bill. But that sushi dinner was worth every penny. Best fish of my life.
I can feel your conviction. That's exactly the feeling. You're telling me the cost doesn't matter compared to the experience. Another example. The concert tickets were $200, but being in the front row was worth every penny. Or the comfortable hotel bed was worth every penny after a long day of walking. It's a stamp of high approval. It tells the listener that the experience had a value that exceeded its monetary cost.
That's really useful. Sometimes I feel a little guilty spending a lot of money, but this phrase makes it sound positive.
Exactly, it justifies the splurge. It's not bragging, it's declaring high quality. Now, let's go one step further. You've recommended a place you've said it was worth the cost. But how do you express that you loved a place so deeply you would return instantly? This is where a lot of learners stumble. They might say, I want to go back, or I will go back someday. Both are fine, but they lack poetic speed. They lack the feeling of I wouldn't even think about it. The phrase we use is I'd go back in a heartbeat and
Tags. I generated, which is invalid. This violates the core formatting rule. And Dickens you be for te. And Dickens you where you won. I D for C. I Dickens you where you but.
a heartbeat is just one single beat of your heart. It's incredibly fast. So if you do something in a heartbeat, it means you do it instantly without any hesitation. The decision is as fast and automatic as your heart beating. You don't have to think. The full phrase is I would go back in a heartbeat, but we almost always contract I would to I'd. I'd go back in a heartbeat.
So it's intense. It's not just I'd like to go back. It's I've already made up my mind.
Totally. It's a romantic way to talk about a place. For our Arabic speaking listeners, you might want to translate an idea of in a moment or without thinking, and this is exactly that. It's a deeply emotional, positive reaction. Let's hear you use it, Leo. Tell me about that small coastal town in Italy you always talk about.
Oh, Positano. Don't get me started. I'd go back to Positano in a heartbeat. The views, the food, the water, it was perfect.
Now that sounds like love. You can hear the passion. Another example. If I had the chance, I'd go back to that cooking class in a heartbeat. Or he said he'd move to New Zealand in a heartbeat. You can use it for any quick, enthusiastic decision, but be careful with pronunciation. In a heartbeat. 3 words, but they flow together quickly. It sounds almost like in a heartbeat. The T at the end of heartbeat is often a soft stop. Don't overpronounce it as in a heart a beta. Keep it smooth.
You have to go to New Zealand. It was worth every penny. And I'd go back in a heartbeat. I just used all three in one breath.
And you absolutely nailed the passionate recommendation tone. Now, here's the part that surprises most people, Leo. When you put these 3 phrases together, you're not just speaking English, you're sharing a part of American social culture. We often bond over recommendations. Giving a strong, fun recommendation is a way of connecting. It shows you care about the other person having a good time.
That makes sense. If I just say, the museum is good, it's like, whatever. But if I say, you have to go to this museum, the modern art section was worth every penny, I'd go back in a heartbeat. It's like, I'm giving them a gift.
Exactly. It's a social gift, a piece of cultural capital. And this is a moment where many intermediate learners hit a wall. They know the words must, expensive, and return, so they create sentences like you must go. It was worth the expensive cost. I wish to return quickly. These sentences are grammatically fights, but they sound like a textbook from 1920, not a human being in 2024.
I've been that guy. I used to say, the price is high but acceptable. My friends thought I was a robot doing a financial audit of my vacation.
A financial audit. That's hilarious and so accurate. Your friends want to hear the story, not the audit. So let's practice swapping that out. Let's do a quick role play. I'll start. I just came back from a trip. I'm your coworker. Ask me about it, Leo. I'll use our old robotic phrases, and I want you to suggest the new ones.
Okay. Hey Maya, welcome back. Did you have fun in Barcelona?
Thank you. Yes. I liked the Sagrada Familia Church. It had a high entry fee, but it was acceptable. I intend to visit again in the future.
Whoa, audit alert. Okay, what I think you're trying to say is you have to go to the Sagrada Familia. The entry fee was steep, but it was worth every penny. I'd go back in a heartbeat.
That gives me chills. That's exactly what I wanted to say. You turned a boring report into a real recommendation. The steep for high entry fee was a nice touch. Steep is a great word to use for a high price when you want to sound conversational. The tickets are pretty steep, but it was worth every penny. That is a gold standard sentence right there.
This is fun. I feel like I can really express my feelings now. But I have a question. I hear people sometimes say, you've gotta go. Is that the same thing?
Great question. You gotta go is exactly the same as you have to go, just even more informal and casual. Gotta is a reduction of got to, which is an informal way to say have to. So all three exist on a spectrum. You must go is the most formal, almost too formal for speech. You have to go is our standard natural speech, and you gotta go is super casual between close friends. You'll hear this a lot in American English. You've got to try this cake. We've got to see that movie. But for our lesson today, you have to go to is your perfect all purpose, safe for anyone phrase.
So I won't sound weird if I say, you've gotta go to my close friend?
Not at all. You'll sound like you're totally comfortable. But with a boss or a new acquaintance, you have to go is a little safer. Now, let's revisit our second phrase. It was worth every penny. There's a pronunciation trap here that I want everyone to avoid. The word worth has an T sound, right? Many French speakers, for example, might want to say worse or worse, and some Spanish speakers might say wort with a hard T. You really need to stick your tongue out just a little bit for the T sound. Worth. Air flows over your tongue, worth every penny. And then penny, make sure those ends are clear. Penny, not penny.
Worth every penny. Worth every penny.
Beautiful. And one more common error, forgetting the was. I've heard a lot of learners say, it worth every penny. It needs that verb, I is worth every penny today, or it was worth every penny yesterday.
Got it. It was worth every penny. Now what about our third one? In a heartbeat. Are there other ways to say that?
There are. In a heartbeat is the most common and vivid, but you could also say in a second or in a flash. I'd go back in a second. Same meaning, just less poetic. In a heartbeat has more emotion tied to it. It connects the decision to your body to life itself. That's why it feels so strong.
Okay, let's imagine a new scenario. My friend is going to Seoul, and I live there for a year. What do I say? Give me the full treatment.
All right. You want to sell this trip. You don't just want to say it's nice. You want to say, you have to go to the Gwangjang market. The street food is unreal. I spent so much money trying every stall, and it was worth every penny. Seriously, I'd go back to Seoul in a heartbeat just for that market.
Wow, sold. I want to go now. I love how unreal adds that extra punch.
Exactly. Unreal is a great intensifier for travel experiences. The view was unreal. The concert was unreal. It means something was so good it didn't seem like reality. Okay, Leo, here's a challenge for our listeners. I'm going to give you a travel experience that's just okay. And you have to sell it to me using our three phrases, but you can't lie. How do you do it?
That's tough. So the experience is just okay, but I have to make it sound good?
Yes. Let's say you went to a very small, simple museum. It wasn't spectacular, but maybe it was peaceful, and the ticket was only $5. Sell me on it.
Okay, I've got this. If you want a quiet afternoon, you have to go to this little art museum. It's small, but the garden is so peaceful. The entry was only $5, and it was worth every penny just to sit by the fountain. For that moment of peace, I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Ha! That is masterful. You did it. You didn't lie. You didn't say it was the best art collection in the world. You focused on the specific value it provided. This is the highest level of this skill, being able to see the value in something and express it precisely. You were honest, but you spoke with the passion and vocabulary of a native heart. The just and just to sit by the fountain does a lot of work there.
I felt it. I felt like I was being positive but truthful. This is a real mindset shift. I used to think I had to lie or exaggerate to sound enthusiastic in English, but it's more about finding the part I actually loved and shining a light on it.
And that's the secret. My number one takeaway for everyone listening. Don't just report the facts of your trip. Use today's phrases to give your opinion and invite others into the experience. Shift the story from I to you. You have to go. Share the feeling of value. It was worth every penny, and express your deep, instant desire to return. I'd go back in a heartbeat.
All right, it's practice time, everyone. We want you to be part of this. I'm going to describe a trip in the most boring way possible. After I finish, pause the podcast and retell my story using the 3 new phrases. Ready? Here we go. I went to Mexico City. I ate tacos. The tacos were not expensive. The taste was good. I will probably eat them again someday.
Oh, that was painfully boring, Leo. You sounded like a depressed robot who discovered Mexican food.
I tried. Okay, listeners, your turn. Pause now and fix my disaster. Make those tacos sound like the meal of a lifetime.
We'll give you a moment. Think of how you'd use. You have to go too. Worth every penny. And I'd go back in a heartbeat to transform that story. Remember, it's about the feeling, not just the facts.
Got it? Okay, here's one way you could have fixed it. You have to go to this little taco stand in Mexico City. The Al Pastor tacos were only 50 cents, and they were worth every penny. Best I've ever had. I'd go back in a heartbeat just for those tacos.
Perfect. Did you catch the only 50 cents? Adding a specific detail makes it real, and the just for those tacos shows the singular focus of your desire. Now, before we wrap up, I want to address a cultural note that many learners might find surprising. In American English, hyperbole, that's a fancy word for exaggeration, is not considered lying. If I say, "This is the best pizza in the world," or "You'll die of happiness," I don't literally mean it. It's a colorful way to show extreme enthusiasm. This can be very confusing for more literal-minded cultures.
So if I'm from a culture where we are more subtle, I might think an American is insincere when they say something like, I unfrightable, or the greatest.
Exactly. You're hearing emotion, not a scientific measurement. So when we say I'd go back in a heartbeat, it's emotional truth, not a legal contract. Using this phrase tells your American friends, I am comfortable with your cultural style of positive exaggeration. It builds a bridge.
That's so valuable to know. It's not just about vocabulary, it's about understanding how people think. All right, Maya, if I want to keep getting these cultural insights and powerful phrases, what should I do?
You know exactly what to do. If you found this episode helpful, make sure you're subscribed to Speak Like a Native. We drop new daily conversations, vocabulary deep dives, and culture hacks every single day. Hit that bell so you don't miss an episode. Your journey to sounding natural shouldn't take years. We crank out the lessons so you can practice a little bit each day. And we'd love to see you in the comments. Tell us about a place you love using our 3 new phrases.
Yes, drop a comment right now. Say you have to go to. Tell us why it was worth every penny and if you'd go back in a heartbeat. We read all of them.
Today's rule, the one sentence to carry with you. Stop reporting your travel history and start making recommendations. Shift from I to you and watch how people connect with your stories.
For Maya, I'm Leo. Thanks for spending part of your day with us.
Now get out there and share the best kept secrets of your city with the world. See you in the next one.